everyone, how's everyone doing? I'm actually going to be doing a vlog on how to speak Malay. This is actually in response to a video by one of my friends. She actually did one with Tagalog because I asked for it, how to speak Tagalog. So in return, I'm going to teach you guys how to speak Malay. Now, Malay is a pretty straightforward, easy to learn language, and it's also a lot of fun, so I hope you guys can really learn from this video. And yeah, so let's start. Okay, first things first is the pronunciation. Well, obviously the pronunciation is different from in English, so here's how you pronounce vowels. The sound A would be ah, like in mata. E would be eh, like my name, Eris. I would be E, like in mini, E. O would be O, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And U would be oo. I can't think of an English word that has. Yeah, but anyway, the sound U is oo. So it's instead of A, I, or U, it would be A, E, I, O, U. Let's move on to basic greetings. So basic greetings in any language, of course, we're going to be asking people, how are you? How do you say how are you in Malay? Well, it's apa kabar? Apa kabar? Literally translated, it means what news? Apa kabar? It can also mean it's nice to meet you. Apa kabar? And you reply kabar baik. Usually you say that. Kabar baik. Kabar is news. Baik is good. So what news? And you're saying good news. So it's basically how Malays say how are you? I'm fine, thank you. So it's apa kabar? Kabar baik. Yeah. What else is there? Well, a very common thing Malaysians like to ask each other is about food, because Malaysians love food. And here's a phrase that you can ask your friends. Usually you will say, have you eaten? It's a very common thing among Malaysians to ask when they see each other. It's just as common as asking how are you. So, have you eaten is sudah makan? Sudah makan? Makan being eat, sudah being have. So it's basically have. Okay, next we're gonna move on to introducing oneself. How do you introduce yourself? Usually you say, my name is blah blah blah. So in this case, I'm gonna use myself as an example. My name is Eris. In Malay, you would say, nama saya Eris. Nama being name, saya being me. So, name, my, Eris. Nama saya Eris. Alright, then we move on to other basic greetings like good morning and stuff. So, good morning in Malay is selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Literally translated, selamat basically means safe, and pagi is morning. So it's basically wishing you to have a safe morning. Selamat pagi. Selamat afternoon. Tengah hari. Selamat tengah hari. Tengah hari being noon. It's kind of like Tagalog. Tagalog is tanghali, and in Malay it's tengah hari. So it sounds almost similar. Selamat tengah hari is good afternoon. Good evening is selamat petang. Selamat petang. Petang being evening. So basically you add a selamat in front of everything and it means good something, see? Okay, next is good night. Good night is selamat malam. Selamat malam. Malam being night. And there you have it. You know how to say, how are you? Apa kabar? Kabar baik. I'm fine. And then you have you eaten? Sudah makan? And finally you have all the basic greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, selamat pagi, selamat tengah hari, selamat petang, and selamat malam. Okay, moving on. What's your name? Let's say you meet someone for the first time and you want to ask them, what's your name? So it's apakah nama Anda? Or Anda ialah? Apakah nama Anda? Apakah being what is, nama name, and Anda is you. So that's a very polite form of asking. Apakah nama Anda? Or if you want to be a little bit informal, you would say Anda ialah, you are, ... question mark. So you are, Anda ialah. I'm just gonna explain a little bit about pronouns here. I think it's called pronouns, right? When you refer to yourself and to others, like you, me, he, she, it. Because Malay is a very polite language. They have a lot of emphasis on berbudi bahasa. Berbudi bahasa means being polite. So there are a lot of different ways of saying me and you. Here I'm gonna explain a few. Okay, to say I or me, there are two ways basically of saying it. Firstly is saya. Saya is the most polite form of saying me. Saya. Like I said, nama saya, my name. Nama saya ialah Aris. Nama saya Aris. Ialah, you can remove the ialah. Alright. Digressing. Nama saya. Saya is me. That is the polite form. If you're being a little bit informal or you're with like really close friends, you can use aku. Aku. Example. I don't like this. Okay? Let's say I'm gonna use this sentence, I don't like this. I'm gonna say aku tak suka. Aku tak suka. Aku being me, tak suka being don't like. There's one more, even more informal form. It's almost like slang, so we don't really use it when we're writing essays and stuff. And that is gua or hang. This would be like among like really close friends, probably when you're speaking among young people especially. It's like gua or hang. But it would sound really rude when you're talking to someone that you're just like friends, normal friends with. So yeah, these are the few ways of saying me in Malay. Next would be to say you. There are also a few ways to say you in Malay. The most polite form would be anda. Anda. Anda is used normally in formal proceedings, letters to government or whatever. So yeah, anda. Next would be kamu or awa. Kamu, awa. This is the more acceptable form where you meet someone for the first time and you don't want to be too polite, but you still want to keep, being nice. So you can say kamu or awa. Like, remember I said what's your name is apakah nama Anda? That's a very polite form. So if you want to be less formal, you can ask apakah nama kamu? Apakah nama kamu? Kamu and awa are basically on the same rank, but people would usually say kamu. Alright, and then we move on to another way of saying you, which is engkau. Engkau, or usually it's shortened to kau. Engkau or kau. Engkau. You don't like this. You can say kau tak suka. Kau tak suka. You don't like. You don't like it. Okay? It sounds kind of similar to Tagalog as well, because you in Tagalog seems like it's called ikaw, right? Ikaw. So this is engkau or kau. And a lot of Malays, when they speak fast, they usually shorten it to ko. It becomes ko instead of kau. So it's like, let's say you ask, what do you want? Apa kau nak? Apa Apa ko na? What do you want? It's, well, if you speak it slowly, it would be Apa kau na. But because it's shortened, it would sound like ko. Apa ko na? And yeah, last but not least is he or she. Well, in Malay, there's no difference between gender when you're referring to someone else, so it's called dia. He or she is dia. Dia. Yeah, I guess that's all for this. I covered pretty much a lot of stuff, right? And it's already been 10 minutes. So I have to shorten this. Yeah, I hope you guys learned from my first vlog. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope I can make a second one soon. So yeah, bye!